What the dog doing?
Why you bully me?
Yahoo!
3612.
You've got mail. All rise. Order in the court. Welcome.
Order chicken dinner. No, that didn't work. That's wrong
Or
analogy.
Coney dog that flushes.
Oh my God, guys. What a cluster F of a day already with everything we're doing. This lady's blowing us kisses from over yonder.
She's
getting sexy with it now.
She pretty.
She is. She's she got what they call full lips. Hopefully those aren't collagen injected lips.
Watch this, and then you got something else to jump to in a little bit too, correct?
Yeah, we got a TPO with Judge Dude. We'll slide over that, little husband and wife issues. But yeah, let's take a second and just see what's happening.
Particular a statement that the defendant made: "If I had a gun, I'd blow your fucking brains out." That is particularly alarming, Your Honor, and I think that surety is necessary to ensure he complies with other conditions of the court. I'm asking the court to enter a pretrial domestic violence no contact order and protecting the individual named therein that should have been provided to the court.
Granted.
I'm also asking the court to make a specific finding, and that's marked on the no contact order itself. There are two specific findings I'm asking the court to make. This is on page 2 of the no contact order, section 7. And it says, for crimes not defined as a serious offense, the court makes the following mandatory findings pursuant to RCW 9.41.800, sections 1 and 2. It's the third and fourth. The third one is possession of a firearm or other dangerous weapon by the defendant presents a serious and imminent threat to public health or safety or to the health or safety of any individual. And the fourth is the defendant represents a credible threat to the physical safety of the protected person. The court issues this no contact order to prevent possible reoccurrence of violence. I believe that the cert speaks for itself, but specifically the threats regarding access to a firearm if he had one, threatening to shoot her in the head, and then also just the assaultive behavior that he exhibited against the victim, I think necessitates the court making those findings. If the court makes those findings, then I'm asking the court to enter order to surrender and prohibit weapons, and make that last as long as the pretrial no contact order, which I'm requesting to be at 5 years or until the case is resolved.
5 years they're asking for. I mean, I don't want to, we ran into this hot and raw and not knowing what we were getting. And obviously somebody doesn't like somebody. They're threatening to blow. See, that's what I was about to say. But that's not my comment. Isn't that really, I don't know. It looks like a kid's vest he's wearing. I know I'm splitting hairs here, but
yeah,
slightly inappropriate for court.
I agree.
Can we get you a real vest, a man's vest, perhaps, not a child?
He's a DPA, though, so
you can't afford to get stuff. I guess we're talking about the guy down there at the table. Is he threatening this beautiful young lady at Wing Tech?
By the way, is Wing Tech in a trailer or in a camper? That's
a camper, baby.
I kind of think it is too. Lady Poe, what a great idea. Although that almost looks like a little bit of a ceiling fan, though. If that was a ceiling fan, they don't have those in campers. But that whole.
By the way, anyone that becomes a member today over on We Got a Case, you can go back and watch any of the other members onlys that we've done so far already. Last night's was beyond words. I can't even describe it. I'm not going to take an attempt to describe what we watched last night.
A true shit show cluster.
Oh, man, was it bad. So yeah, think about doing that. We appreciate it. Yeah, we went raw bareback on this one, and
we didn't know we were jumping into this, did we?
No, I had no clue.
Gee, Stephen O'Neill.
No clue whatsoever. Let's get back to see what's going on. 5 years we want, or until the case is settled.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. So you just hold on there a second, Mr. Hillstrom. I have two things to do. We're going to
come back to your bail here in a second, but first I'm going to do this.
Have we ever seen one given out for 5
The
years?
conditions of
No.
release are on
Didn't
the
think so.
no contact order and the firearm are a little more important at the moment for our purposes, for the court's purposes. So the court just signed an order on 6798-23 that you are prohibited, Mr. Hillstrom, you are prohibited from having contact with Destiny Staus, I guess you say. That information is on this order. And you may not
Oh God,
contact her in any way or threaten her in any way, directly or indirectly. You can't contact her relatives or her friends. You can't get within 1,000 feet of her. I am finding that the allegation is that this involves an intimate partner, and there was some kind of threat made regarding a firearm. So I signed that no contact order. I made those findings referred to on
Look at
page
the faces
2.
she's
Mr.
making.
Murphy, I'm looking at paragraph 7. Is that what you're looking?
Is she not the person we're talking about? Because she keeps making all these weird ass faces and stuff, and
She is.
like, who they talking about? They talking about me? I've never been intimate with this man. She seems confused.
She does. I'm slightly confused too as to who we're talking about as well. But either way, I can't stop thinking about the time that we had that camera shot of Judge straight into his office, and we saw what we saw that day. That's all I can think about.
He had a batch.
Looking at page 2, paragraph 7, possession of a firearm or a credible threat to physical safety. Are those the findings you're looking for?
Yes, Your Honor, those 2 boxes should be checked that I referred to, but that's.
They are.
It's actually
They are, and
freezing
I've
here
made
in
that
South.
finding. So,
Tomorrow,
Mr.
let's not
Hillstrom,
even
what
make
that
it
boils
60.
down to, a couple of different things. Of course, you may not have any sort of contact with Destiny under any circumstances at all. And as a part of your pretrial release, if you're out
She's
of
trying to hide
jail,
herself.
or however that works out, you're going to need to make arrangements to surrender firearms to law enforcement, because I'm ordering that you surrender any firearms in your possession to law enforcement pending resolution of this case. Now, before I get to bail, are you related to the Hillstrom matter? Are you here on the Hillstrom matter? Okay. You were just talking out loud. No, okay, never mind. I just wanted to make sure that you weren't involved in this somehow. Okay.
Judge?
All right. So, Mr. Hillstrom, the current bail is set at $10,000 cash. Do you have $10,000 cash to post bail?
No,
Okay.
Your Honor.
All right.
Would
All
I,
right. Okay.
can I take a moment to say one couple
No,
things?
actually,
Please.
no, I'll tell you why no, because I've made these findings based on probable cause that I reviewed on whatever day that was, the 22nd. And you're entitled to a presumption of innocence, and probably one of the worst things you can do is start talking on the court record when you're entitled to a presumption of innocence. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to appoint you a lawyer. We're going to appoint Cloud Public Defenders to represent you. Now, you have a bad situation on your hands because Monday is a legal holiday. We will not be open for business.
Neither will we.
Monday. I need to consult with my clerk here. How hard do you think it would be to get Kressel in on court on Thursday? You think? You have no idea either. Yeah, we gotta set it for June 5th.
Is somebody shooting up
Hillstrom,
next to
I'm
her? Is that
sorry
while we're
about
covering
that.
up the
We
camera?
can't get back into court on your case till June 5th. And
Your Honor, if I
yes.
could, if this is Madam Clerk's okay with this, maybe set it for the 5th, but see if we can put him in on for Thursday. And I can make myself available, and I'm sure
Right.
Mr. will could as well.
Well, what I want is an attorney to review his case, and so Mr. Hillstrom, it may not seem like it. I'm actually trying to protect you. I don't want you talking about a lot of things in a public forum. I want your attorney to come talk to you. We're gonna notify Mr. Kressel today that their office has been appointed to represent them, and my clerk is gonna make inquiries about whether or not Mr. Kressel could actually be available next Thursday. I know you can't post bail. I know it means you might lose your job or a job. That's why I appointed an attorney to represent you. That's all I can do today, Mr. Hillstrom. I know you're dying to tell me some things, but you can't. I'm not going to let you. So we're going to see you Thursday at 9:30 in the morning. We're going to see you Monday for sure at 9:30 in the morning, but hopefully we can see you Thursday. And Mr. Kressel, your attorney, is a very experienced attorney. If after talking to you, if he wants to contact Mr. Murphy and make different arrangements, we can sign some sort of agreed order. So anyway, what the most important thing right now is for Mr. Kressel to know that you're in jail and he needs to see you right away.
We're not
So
sure.
officially, we're going to see you on Monday.
A lot
A
happening
week
here.
from this Monday at 9:30, but we might see you sooner, okay? I'm sorry that I didn't give you a chance to talk, but right now, that's where things are gonna, Kressel sees you. So we'll see you on Monday for sure on the 5th, maybe sooner. Thank you, County Jail. Did we
Well,
have
now
one
we've
more in the county jail this morning?
Thank you, Your Honor.
completely
10 o'clock.
covered
Thank
up
you,
with
sir.
a bounty.
Okay, Miss Pisani, can you hear me? She was there. She's kind of floating in and out. There she is. Can you hear me, Miss Pisani?
I still had nothing. Oh, my God, that looks so weird.
No, I'll tell you what, we're gonna go, Miss St. Marie,
Hello?
you pick your date. Yes, we can hear you, Miss Pisani. Hang on.
Okay.
Is her name
We're
DeSanti?
quashing any warrants that
So
we
salty.
have. Miss Pisani, the biggest thing is
Salty.
we need an address from you. You need to provide your attorney with a good mailing address and she can contact us so that we have a good mailing address, because right now we don't. So Ms. St. Marie, if you can possibly take care of that,
Miss
soon,
DeSanti,
that would be great.
heir
And
to the
Ms. St.
DeSanti
Marie,
fortune.
just pick your date. What date do you want?
Come on, 14.
I suggest the first week in July. Actually,
Okay.
maybe that won't work because of the 4th of July.
Well, that's right. Yeah, we're not gonna do court on the 3rd because we're all gonna be
Drunk.
belching.
Yes, I hope so. Actually, I have a trial scheduled for the 10th and the 17th.
Come on, 14th.
Well, so
No, the
thing is-
10th would be good. The 10th will work.
10th will be good. So Ms. Pisani, we had trouble getting you in here. Are you living down at the whole reservation or are you in Forks?
River.
Okay, well, we need a really good address from you and we don't want to go looking for you again because next time I'm going to put $5,000 cash per cause number if we got to go looking for you again. So you're going to have $15,000 next time to get out of jail. So I don't want you to get lost again.
Okay.
All right, we'll see you on July 10th at,
No.
it's the Forks cases or Forks cases? 1:30.
Okay.
All that just
Thank
All
for
right,
that.
Miss- all right, Miss
Thank
St.
you.
Marie.
Have a good day.
She's got a great
Bye.
voice,
Yeah.
though.
Oh,
Beautiful voice.
absolutely.
Caitlin Boston. Do we have a Caitlin Boston anywhere?
She's on
in
the
world?
reservation,
No,
the
we
Ho
don't, do
Reservation, I believe he called
we?
it.
It was for 9:30, right?
She
So
said, I'm down here by the Ho
she's
River.
just not here. That's all there is to it. We're not gonna be doing any quashing.
Judge is just talking to herself today.
Kind of all over the place. I love it.
Yeah, we'll give him a few more minutes and
What's
then
your
we'll
last name
we'll jump.
again? Well, come on up. Oh, there it is. Marco says here you robbed the
Okay.
bank and chased a bunch of people down the stairs. Come on.
Oh, you want me to come all the way in there?
You just grab a table.
Says here, you robbed a bank and chased a bunch of people. Ha ha ha.
Figure out how
Judge
bad a
jokes.
person You are, I'm teasing.
Oh, I'm pretty bad, dude.
I know.
In my younger days, I was horrible.
You just said dude to the judge.
Hang on a second. What are you charged with? I'm talking out loud. You can ignore
He
me.
said I was doing 86, following a car, and
Okay.
the car jacked on his brakes in front of me. And
Okay.
he said he shot me over his shoulder,
Okay.
going away from him. And I was
You
like,
just hold the thought there.
Whoa,
Huh?
3A0293912.
coming in hot over here today.
24 hours 40. So he put you at 24
After that
over
PP
the
you sent
40
yesterday,
posted
you should
speed
just
limit. So you just hang on.
walk
Just
on
hold
in.
that thought.
Thank you, Twist and Sifter. 24 miles an hour over the speed limit. That's what he just said.
He's never done anything wrong, Judge.
He's running the test
He said that he
here.
was
Trying to
pew-pewing,
figure out
like, off the back of the
exactly where
shoulder,
he
right?
was.
Is that what-
Yeah, he said he shot me like this. What does that
And he said
mean?
you
right in
admit,
front of the sheriff's station.
okay, and he said you admitted to driving 65 or more. Did you?
I mean, ain't the speed limit 55 or something like that?
I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm
I
just.
was, so this is what I was saying. I was following a car, and we come around the corner right before the sheriff's station down there.
Uh-huh.
And he was, like we passed a cop probably a minute before that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Didn't turn around and
Yeah.
pull us over. This guy turned around, pulled us over, and said I was doing 86. I was
Okay.
like, dude, there's no way I'm going 86 around that corner with
Okay,
another
well,
car in front of me. But he said, I said,
Okay, so at 101, milepost 196. So you were right in front of the sheriff's
almost
station somewhere.
coming around that corner, the last corner right before it.
Okay,
I'm glad you brought his pee bottle with him.
I had it on video,
Oh,
like the
that's-
dash cam,
yeah.
but I plugged it into my phone and it reformatted. I hate technology.
That's all right, all right. So just
I hate
calm down there. You said you
Oh,
were
I
very
bet
upset,
you're
by the way.
I was, because there was a car in front of me. He had
Ah.
to pull him over before he pulled me over.
All right. All right.
Sorry.
He's just lounging too, by the way, Jennifer.
Oh
He's like,
yeah, yeah. And he called him dude.
dude,
Yeah, it's the most cash court I think you can find.
it's the cash court.
I'll never forget I'll never forget the first day we were here and
He
remember how
said he
great that was. Them two old
approaching
men
you.
in
Was
suspenders.
he approaching you when he got the speed read? Does that make
No,
sense?
no, he said he was shot it over his shoulder.
Okay, well, I don't know
Back at
about,
me.
I don't know about that, but I'm just saying were you guys traveling in opposite directions? Was it right? He approached you.
Yeah, so like that's what we
Okay.
were traveling this.
All right. So then in theory, his radar got a read from the front part
Any
of your
chance
car.
the judge doesn't lower the
moving
ticket or
mode.
dismiss it?
Dismissed.
What did you say about
Hold
this
hearing.
other car? It was in front of you.
That he jacked on his brakes, which caused me to come up on him.
Why'd he
so
do
I had to
that?
hit my brakes, and that's what he said. He said it looked like I was coming up on him on a high rate of speed. But like I was like, dude, the guy in front of me jacked on his brakes, which I had to jack on my brakes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
A lot of jacking
I mean,
going on,
So
if you know what I
basically
mean.
what you're saying is you don't think you were, now he doesn't say you're going 86 in this thing. He says 24 over the 40 limit. The
Yeah,
posted-
he's like,
Beautiful, right?
I don't know. He just said he said I was going like some outrageous speed. And I was like, dude, there was an SUV.
Okay,
in front of me.
but my point is you're not being written for an outrageous speed. You're being written for 24 over.
Well, I don't think I should have got pulled over at all. I think the guy in front of me should have got pulled over.
Now, he
Mm.
does say that he got a
Oh, that's
visual
not the way it
reading of
works.
84. He does say that.
A visual reading?
Yeah, on the
He said
radar.
like it's
No,
gone
the
or
radar.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Yeah, the digital came up at 8. So you know how that works. He's coming at you, he's driving towards you.
Yeah.
And his radar gets a read on your car and it came back digitally 84.
Anyway, we can get his dash or his he was wearing a camera on his shoulder, right? He told me he shot it over his shoulder as he was going away from me.
Right. Well, I don't know about that, but.
His
so-
body
so
cam
you
ain't gonna be on
wait
sitting in the
that
car, bro.
For getting
No.
him in here or getting any kind of evidence or
Okay.
anything. Hang on. So you had a ticket in, the last ticket you had was 2022. You went a long ways with that, or 2021, I guess.
Dude, that was not even in my car.
No, so you don't get to call me dude.
Oh, sorry.
There it is
No,
again. He called him dude.
No, I was going to Yellowstone and that was in my girlfriend's car. Going over in the one.
Let me clue you in on something else. Too.
Sorry.
I don't care about Yellowstone or your girlfriend's car. I'm talking about today.
Today I didn't.
So stop interrupting me.
Oh shit.
Please. Can you read the room? You're talking to the judge, we think, the big guy in a robe that's older than you and smarter than you and been doing this for 100 years, and you're interrupting me. Stop it. I'm looking at your record. I think the last ticket you had was 2021. Did you understand what I just said?
Yes, sir.
Stop. If he had a ticket in 2021, is he still eligible for?
Well, we've never seen that
for
before
deferred or
here.
not?
I don't think the judge took very kindly to his casual acting.
Yeah.
Far too casual.
So-
Call him dude.
I know you're upset with him that he radared you at 84, but he didn't write you up for 84. He wrote you up for 24 over. So technically it's a ticket for 64 is kind of what it says. It's 24 over the 40.
But I shouldn't have got the ticket
Mm.
Well, that's what I'm having trouble understanding. Why shouldn't you have had a ticket?
because I was following in the car.
Right,
He
right.
come past us,
Right.
right? He said he got him at 76, so he was speeding,
right.
right? He had to pull him over before he pulled me over. He's picking and choosing at that point. You can't pull, you gotta pull over the
So
first guy.
what
you
you're
come
saying
past.
is there was another car.
No picking and choosing, but you can pick where you would like to become a member, and that,
It's true.
my friend, is an amazing decision. I am so blown away, by the way.
We've never seen that.
Jeez. I have never seen him so pissed off.
What a great day to be in his live. Yeah, this dude just took the cash a little too far, I think, and yeah, he needs to shut up.
Wow.
I will say this: he has a little bit of leg to stand on with the like. If the trooper really did like, if he's like driving like, catching it that way, that's I don't think that's the way you do it. But
He
I
said
mean,
he gunned him at 84, but he's
Right.
only hitting him with 64. So he's already done him a favor.
yeah.
But his logic to me isn't
Oh no,
adding up.
this whole thing, because somebody was in front of you, obviously speeding, but you're the one that got. That's not
The
that
guy in front of me should have got the ticket, Judge.
right, Eric. That would be the same thing as saying, "Hey, a mile back, I just had somebody whiz by me, probably at 90 miles an hour. So I don't deserve this ticket. Somebody else was speeding.
You don't you take care of him? This could get very contentious very quickly. It escalated for sure.
Do you think he's going to get mad when he finds out the truth that he's going to actually, I think now, going to get this ticket?
I think so too. We
Not a
both
break?
put our foots in our mouth and we said, "Oh, no.
Everything else we've seen goes that way.
Oh, it goes that way a lot." And by the way, there's a dead plant back here.
A very dead plant, yeah, that almost looks like a painting on the wall.
Radar field.
Exactly
What you're saying.
And he told me he had him at 76 or something like that, and had me at 86.
Right.
And I was like, how is that even possible when he jacked on his brakes and I?
Well, so here's the problem you have in terms of evidence. You don't have the trooper here. You didn't subpoena the trooper.
No, I had. I thought
Well, I know.
Yeah.
That's a bad thing. Here's how the system works: is I'm entitled to read the police report and decide whether it's factual or not. And I understand what you're saying. You actually have a good defense because you can't get a radar read if there's an interfering vehicle.
There you go.
So
Lisa,
so
he's
your
actually pretty
defense
dressed up for this
is
court, to be honest.
that there was another vehicle interfering with the read. So you're asking me to discount his sworn statement and take your.
I'm not asking you to discount his, just that maybe the reading was a little off because there was a couple of cars, in the way.
Well,
But-
what about this? What about if I found that you were 10 over and reduced your fine?
I mean, 10 over is still a ticket. I don't want my insurance.
You don't
to go
want
up.
any kind of ticket.
No, I don't.
Well, that's what I was
worked
looking
very
at.
hard. I worked very hard to not have tickets for a long time.
I see that. No, I see
drive-
that.
I drive fast cars, and I.
Oh,
You
Why
also
are
have a
we-
tendency to tell too much. You talk too much. Anybody ever tell you talk too much?
he drives a fast car. He likes to drive around with his sister.
Speaking of Tracy Chapman, there is a on the way back from the casino the other day. There's a country like hit that's on the radio right now. That's a country song of Tracy Chapman, Fast Car.
Really?
Yeah, it was different. I was like, really? That's the song we're gonna go with here.
Wow.
All right.
All right. He said it. He offered. He gave him an offer. He turned it down. He wants all or nothing. Creed.
I think
pushing.
dropping that down to 10. However, the judge did just get done saying that there are kind of two things going your way. I don't think he can. I think if he came in here, sat up straight, was not rude and call him dude.
You think the cop not being here is going to go in his favor, though?
All right. I'm glad you said that, because he just said you could subpoena him. I thought that you just kind of had to be there. I thought that we've seen that before. I've always heard that too. Like if the cop don't show up, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Maybe that's different here in Callum County.
Callum.
Huh?
Anybody ever tell you you talk too? You provide too much information. So here's what I'm looking at is you had a whole bunch of tickets in 2012, 2014.
Oh yeah, that was
And-
my bad days. You
and
don't
then
want to go
nothing.
back that far.
Nothing.
Bad boy for life.
The Yellowstone ticket. Anyway, I'm kidding.
Bad boy for life.
So
Georgia Peach.
basically your history at this point isn't too bad.
Yeah.
But I can't find that his reading is invalid. In other words, you checked the contested box because you don't think you were speeding at all, but you said you think the reading was off.
I mean, I came in here and turned the ticket in and said, and told the lady in the office that I wanted to contest it, and I kind of wanted his dash area. I wanted his camera on his shoulder.
Right.
And then,
So, yeah, I know, that's when having an attorney could help, because you would actually have to subpoena him to show up with the camera.
yeah.
What I'm wondering though is, do you think you were speeding maybe a little?
I mean, I don't want to say that.
Now that's good.
Yeah.
He trying.
He's trying, man.
You're good.
Thank you, Flush.
I like that the judge is, giving him a little bit of rope. Just a little bit. Though.
Yeah. I just think I don't think that I would have doubled down on trying to completely get out of it. I don't know. Be happy that you got a little bit of a break. Like I get it. It's still going to be a pretty good ticket 10 over, I would imagine.
Yeah. We'll see.
You got a chip for that.
I mean, if I get it, I will admit to it, right?
I know,
But
I know. So here's the problem I'm having is I don't find that his ticket is unbelievable, but I do think that you weren't speeding as fast as he said. So I'm willing to mitigate it.
And
Oh, you.
Son of a bitch. Well, this happens in this court, by the way. When I was alluding to the fact of the first time we were ever in that court with a couple of the young men with some suspenders going back and forth like they were having coffee, that's what happened. So, unfortunately,
He jumped up and he punched the judge. I can't believe that happened.
They must have just cut the feed, huh?
Yeah, they cut the whole damn thing.
All right. Well,
Thank you, Callum County.
I do.
Judge
TPO.
You can click your hand down.
TPO.
And the respondent, Mr. French, is a DeKalb County resident. Is that correct?
Parlez-vous français?
You're asking me? Yes.
Yes. Okay. And you indicated on your petition you are present or past spouses. Are you two still married? When did you get divorced?
We've been separated since 2014 and then 16, and then we've been officially divorced since 2019.
Okay. And you have one or more children together. Is that correct?
We have two. We have a son, a 15-year-old son and a 13-year-old daughter.
Oh, he's
driving
driving
a big rig in court.
hard.
Yeah, no big deal.
And so prior to the filing of this protective order, what was the arrangement with regards to the children and custody?
We have 50-50 custody. The children are, it's 50-50 right now.
50.
Okay, and that's in terms of parenting time and
Yes, this should be everything. Everything should be split 50-50.
Mr. Hightower.
And what led to you
No peeing in court.
filing for this order?
On April, I believe it was 19th, I took the children to their grandmother. His sister was having a party for his mother's birthday. I think she's 86 now.
Party time.
And so I thought it was a good idea. My mom had actually told me about it, and I thought it was a good idea since, she's getting older, that the children go to that. I thought it was important. So I called and I made arrangements for them to go over there. I dropped them over there to the sister's house to the party. It was my knowledge that Mr. French was not going to possibly be attending, but in case he was, it would have been fine. Plus my daughter hadn't seen him in a while because she has been staying with me temporarily. So I dropped them there. I left them there because I didn't have any reason to not. And then when I went, Mr. French had texted me previously in the week when he decided that it gets to go, that he would take the kids home. And I said, well, no, I'll pick the
She okay?
and then
Oh, I thought she was
pick them
stumbling
up.
over something, sir. Internet.
if you want to leave early, whatever.
Reach
I was
Choked up.
back there to see, the other people that were there once their dad had left. So to me and said,
Clean.
I'll bring the kids home. And I said, well, no, that's okay. I'm coming there anyway. I gotta bring some stuff for your mom. He did not listen to that. He actually left with the kids and took the children
Stuttering
away.
is not a funny
without
thing.
telling.
Whiskey, just FYI, just a few minutes ago with his air ride seat that he had, he was like this for about a minute and a half.
You think he was just like doing like this for fun? Like he likes to pretend like he's driving?
Literally like this.
He doesn't even have a job. He just sits around
I-
bouncing all this.
I haven't been a truck driver ever in my 43 years on this earth.
like telling anyone that he left. So he took the children, so didn't know that he had left, and proceeded to, we didn't know where he was going. Nobody knew he was going. I didn't know he was going. So my daughter texted me to tell me that she was leaving. I'm like, well, how are you leaving? She's like, well,
Sorry,
Dad's
Brian.
taking us
Sorry to hear
home. I said, but I'm not home. I was going to come back and get you guys. I'm not anywhere near home. So I thought maybe Mr. French would take them back to his house, which is around the corner. It's literally minutes away. So I called him. I said, where are you going? He said, well, I took the kids because the kids wanted to leave. I
Party
said, well,
sucked.
don't do that. Just take them back. I was like, where are you? He said, well, I'm right around the corner, so I can meet you wherever you want. And I said, okay, I would like to meet back at your sister's house. And so I hung up the phone and left it at that. And then I asked, I wanted to find out, since I wasn't at home, I wasn't even in the vicinity of my home. I needed to find out how long, how far are you guys away from home? So my daughter, how far are you away from the house? And my daughter says, well, we're not
She
at
wants
home.
me.
We are, somewhere that I know is close to my house. So Mr. French proceeded to continue to go to my home and with the kids. And I called him and told him to bring them back again, like, aggressively told him, bring the kids back. My children said that they did hear me when I screamed that on the phone. I texted him as well, told him to please bring the children back.
Oh, she was
He didn't.
screaming
He
on the
proceeded to go
phone.
to my home. He proceeded to go in the direction of my home, knowing that I'm not there. I texted him, they don't have keys. There's no way for them to get in the home. Nobody's there. He still continues to drive. And then I called my son called me and told me that, I said, oh, okay, I'll be there at your aunt's in a minute. And he's like, well, we're not at our house, we're at home. And so how could you be at my house? I told your dad several times, I'm not at home, there's no keys. Why? I don't understand, I'm confused. And so he's like, he didn't know.
Makes two of
So
us.
I told my son, just, I guess, tell Dad to bring you back to my house. Bring you back to your aunt's house, because that's where I was at the time. I had found my way there. I thought they were going to be there. They were not. So,
Uh-oh.
Oh God.
to my home. Waited for him to come there.
No, Lola.
And then I thought he was just going to drop the kids off and then leave. His sister has a very long lawn. There's no reason for him to come out. He had his someone with him.
She just
So
didn't have a
I
long
thought he would
lawn.
just drop the kids off and then go.
It's a subtle
But
brag.
he did not.
Weird
He
flex, but okay.
got out the car and started walking, over. I went to hug my children and say, hey, and try to play everything off. But then
Sure you
he
did.
got out the car and I didn't understand why he did that. So we proceeded to have an argument. We argued. But then I told him that, I don't understand why he did that. And then he proceeded to let me know that he did this because I picked my son up on Wednesday when he asked me not to. Me picking up the kids from school on his days is not something unusual. On this given day, he was very intent on picking his son up, even though they had to come to my house. He was very upset by that. And then this is what he did to do that. Now, days later,
Just trying to
I
morph out
go
of the
through my
screen.
children's phones periodically and to make sure that they're, not doing things that they shouldn't do. But I saw on my daughter's phone, she's a 13-year-old girl, she records everything. So she records things.
What?
And I saw, and this was I don't even know how many days later, but then I saw I saw Mr. French on video trying to open the door and enter my home. Even though he knew that I wasn't there, he walked up to the door, he tried to open the door, he's asking kids what they want to do. And I'm confused because I told him to come back to my house. So he's asking the kids, what do they want to do? I thought your mom was going to be here. I told him I was not going to be there.
Okay.
So I've told Mr. French in the past, he's entered my home in the past.
With his kid, the place that his kids live.
Yes.
without my
Mr. French has sticky fingers.
permission.
She doesn't want him inside her
So,
home.
Miss-
Come in,
hang on, Miss French,
to drop
'cause-
things off, my door unlocked.
Well, you ain't stopping that
So,
freight train.
it could be you, but it could be me.
Oh, no.
It could be
I
them.
think you were starting to say that he has previously entered the home without permission, and that was where it slowed way, way, way down, and then all of a sudden it sped up real fast to catch back up. So I missed all of that. So if you could
I
walk
will-
me back from there.
Okay, so he has entered my home previously without my permission. I do leave my front door unlocked occasionally. I've lived at this home for 9 years. You know, occasionally I leave it open. My kids, so, you know, my kids can come and open, you know, in and out freely sometimes when we get out the car, depending on where I'm going or where I'm coming back. He
Took
knows
10
that.
minutes to walk across that
and
long lawn.
He has opened the door to the front of my home.
Oh my God.
Would you rather him go in the back door?
It's really.
And I told
She's
him,
really on it
just
right
leave
now.
it. I don't have any problem with people stealing packages, anything from my home. I asked him that.
Stealing
Maybe a total
packages?
of-
What?
Did it 3 times. And then I texted him one time and said, you know, based on our previous conversation, do not leave stuff. You do not open my door. Don't come in my home. And he did it. And I'm sorry, the last time he stopped after I texted him to doing it, but he did not stop after I asked him to
She
do
just
it.
said one of the kids 13 and
And
records.
so that was a
everything.
total of 4 times I had to
She's
ask him to
13, so
stop.
she records
And-
everything, Your Honor.
And
So
she
say
gone.
shit about anything around her. Look at Judge's face.
He did start.
He's got to stop and start her again. Change your batteries, would you?
If it's not smoke detectors, it's
Things in the
sorry.
in the
Not saying
front
anything.
of the
She's
home.
going on. She's like a paragraph now.
Tried to open my home again.
Judge knows it's
Looking
all
at him
bullshit.
do that, to me, it made me feel unsafe because I know that I previously tried to tell him.
She don't even care at this point.
not
She's rambling about
to
nothing.
Try to enter my home.
She's going in full Karen
Hey,
headroom.
Whiskey. He's
And
just sitting there,
I
right? He
didn't
ain't
know,
driving
I was
again, right?
here alone. So that's why I did not feel safe,
Just give me
especially
credit.
files for full custody.
It's his internet
of
messing up
my
too.
children. My daughter has currently been staying with me, basically because for you know what Mr. French is going to do in terms of that, and so that's
In
why I
terms
went
of
ahead and filed
what?
the order, because I don't want him to not be able to come act, back and forth with and for the children, both of us, but I don't want him to have access to be able to just really think he can come to my, my door and try to enter my home.
Is this all about Donna Luce?
Are we bringing this down, Donna, to she doesn't want him coming into her front door?
She don't want him walking on the long lawn, Mikey. I guess she claimed a couple of packages went missing. Seriously, I know nothing of this guy at all. I don't believe he's stealing any packages from his kid's home. I just don't.
And why is the 13-year-old daughter recording everything? I think she may have a problem.
So nonchalant like that. Is that normal? I don't
Do
have
all
a
13-year-olds just record stuff these days? Everything?
Kirnoff, seriously, she's been rambling so much that now Judge is just like,
Judge is just like, I'm so over this already.
But has
She's coming
anybody
off
else
kind of like a Karen, a little bit of a Karen, Phil.
a little bit like a Karen, about that much. Has anybody else caught anything? That's basically long lawn.
Took the
That's
kids to the
flex.
house. I'm trying to
Been in
figure
your
out
house once.
where's this.
Twice.
But the one thing that stood out that she just said was, my one daughter's staying with me now, so it seems like she's looking for not 50-50 custody. She wants full custody now. So is this manipulation again, where we're going to head into one of those cases where we're going to use this to keep the kids away from the guy now?
I don't know, but so far we got nothing. She has driven me to the point where I need to go check the traffic up here.
I've tried
the current custody
to tell him
arrangement?
not to do.
Sorry, I think your connection skipped. I didn't realize you were still
It-
speaking.
Right.
So, what is
I
the
didn't know you were
current
still
custody
talking.
arrangement regarding pickup?
50-50 custody currently.
What?
Oh, and that's the other thing. I don't think I'd be admitting about leaving my
Door unlocked.
locked a lot. So the kids can come and go. that kind of thing,
Get them kids a key.
right? Deborah knows.
Deborah knows.
I'm sorry, say that again for me.
Regarding pickup, we should on non-school days. In the
Ms.
morning.
Goodman, can you tell me if this is a me problem or if this is
Oh
a,
my God. No, this isn't a you problem.
Petitioner's connection. I can't hear him
Okay.
again.
I mean, I know I've had my connection blips today and other days, so I wanted to
Non-
at least check.
Miss
days.
French, Miss French, if you could hear us, we can
Um,
understand you.
from each other's homes. And
Miss French, Miss French,
Slow down, Miss French.
can you hear me?
Tap the brakes. Jack the brakes one time for us, please. And
oh,
like
I'm sorry.
this
I
video.
didn't have the problem. Yes.
So we cannot see you, nor can. the
Leslie, she's-
connection is
Okay.
really
What do I
poor.
do? Because I had no the. Yeah. Yes.
If you could just find better.
I didn't have any. The facility.
Ask your teenage daughter that
Okay,
records everything to help you
I
out.
didn't have any problems. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Hold on.
This poor lady.
I didn't have any problem earlier. It
Okay,
just
it looks
probably
like your
just went down. Can you
connection
guys see me
is
now?
improving. Yeah, I can see you now, and it looks like it may be improving.
She is very much wanting to be in
Okay,
control of everything.
maybe I'll stay here in the front of different part of my home.
Is your
it
Wi-Fi on?
I'm not on Wi-Fi. I'm on my connection. If I turn the Wi-Fi on, the connection will be bad. I don't want to do that. But can you see me? Can you hear me okay now?
Yes.
Yes.
Judge, can you hear her? Because I can hear her fine now.
It suddenly got very, very clear. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
All right. So I'll
All right.
stay here. Okay. I'm sorry about that.
So you described this most recent incident at the house. When was the last time before that that he either made entry or attempted to make entry into your home?
And that's another thing I wanted, because I came to court this morning, I thought we would be in person. I was one of the people that showed up. So I didn't send my evidence because I thought I would be presenting it at court.
No.
I have the text message. It was probably back in February of this year. When I sent him the text to tell him not to enter my home again.
Oh my God.
All right. And so the time that, the most recent time he was there, he had the two children there with him, correct?
No, he came by himself. When he did that, because the arrangement is we drop the kids off at school, and then on the days he drops my son's computer and his he has a headset thing, a VR headset, and he drops those things off at my home. That's always been what it is, and we've never had any problems before. I mean, he's dropped things off at my home before, but then he decided that he didn't want to leave the computer outside anymore. So he decided that he was just on his own going to drop it inside. And I told him not to do that. I don't understand why you need to drop it inside. Just leave it right outside the door. I'm usually dropping my daughter, I'm usually not just leave it at the front of the door. I know you're coming. I'll be back to get it. And he just did not hear me when I told him to do that. I asked him 3 times not to do it. Well, I asked him 4.
So now we're talking about dropping off a computer.
And she just wanted him to leave it outside. And like a normal person, he'd like, no, somebody's going to steal it if I leave it outside. Let me just sit it inside the house of your unlocked doors. I mean, maybe there's something we ain't even heard yet, but man, it's weak as can be right now.
She really has no leg to stand on in my eyes so far. We haven't heard him speak, but I don't think he even has to. I don't think he has to say a word actually. At this point,
Do you have
4
anything
times
to
not to
say?
do it, and the 4th time when I texted him, he stopped. But he would open the door, put the things in the doorway. I wasn't here. The things would be at the doorway. I'm not home. I don't know. And so it's just the idea that he didn't listen to me when I asked him to do things. And this is just one situation of other situations that, I'm just trying to go based on what I put in the order. And then when I saw him.
All right, MB, that is a very valid point. One of the really only things that she said that he did bad is entered her house once before when asked not to, and he's stolen packages. But now we're just dropping off computers outside. I
just don't get it with this lady.
And the other thing I heard her say while I was out checking the traffic is that she didn't know she was going to be presenting anything today.
Yeah, she showed up in person. She thought it was going to be in person, so she showed up in person, and so she had everything in real time, so she didn't send anything in. Talk about not reading the directions.
Enter my home. Excuse me. Try to enter my home and take the kids.
Are you sure she's not on internet? Because that is not what phones do while you're like talking to somebody with bad service. This is what internet does when you've got bad internet.
Again, can we get the 13-year-old that records everything down here to help her?
Just have any reason why he did that. I mean, he did it to get when he was saying that I'm here to pick them up. When we were arguing, he ended up saying that. But to put the children in that where they didn't know what was
He doesn't even
happening.
need to, really.
They were in the vehicle with him and his girlfriend. They did not know where they were going.
There
you know,
it is.
they didn't know if I knew.
There it is.
Sure what was going on.
There it is.
Just to get to know is the reason why I did this, because to me that wasn't something that somebody, would rationally do. And I believe that it might have been a point where he was being a little bit irrational, and I didn't want that to happen again when I'm home.
What?
Somebody just pointed it out in chat, and I just saw it now. Get a grip on his shirt.
Yeah, get a grip.
That's
the girlfriend. There's again another possible factor into this entire thing. How dare you bring that whore around my children?
That makes total sense now.
Allegedly.
All right. And has there ever been any physical violence in the relationship, like hitting, pushing, kicking, shoving, things of that nature?
Say again. Come again.
All right.
It's just basically intimidation, and I didn't.
Intimidation.
All right. And so
Guess that was
as
a no.
far as
I guess so.
Yeah, Lola, I
I had one other question I had thought of. What was it? Okay.
Why are we
and
here?
then what is pending in Superior Court right now in essentially in the family court system between the two of you?
She's thinking.
We have a Mr. French, due to things with my daughter. My daughter was diagnosed with major depressive disorder. Now, am I supposed to tell you that whole thing? The whole story with that?
I don't even know what that is.
No, you can just,
my
what is
daughter was
pending in the court
diagnosed with
system?
major depressive disorder in 2020, in December of 20.
Oh, she's gonna
Okay.
triple down on.
Okay,
Again.
that's what I want to know. Yeah, the child custody case. We have.
There it is. Child custody case pending in court right now.
It's true though. Listen to you. That's them, not us.
All right.
It's true though. Think about it. If you got a custody court or custody case, and you got a damn protection order against him, who looks really good in that. You know what I mean? I mean, you got to come with something here. Yeah, I'm sorry. You got to.
We can't go beyond. He opened the door and put a computer inside the house. One time he brought the youngins home and had that whore in the car. And we can't go with, I think it's just the one kid don't like dad. Dad might have told her to get off her damn phone, stop recording everything. And, now she's mad at dad. She don't want to go over there. We've heard nothing of physical, mental, emotional abuse. She's used the words intimidation.
Straight up asked her, and even though she was Creed framing, she definitely said no.
I've completely lost your audio. Maybe not. But so
You
the
able to hear
child
me?
custody case is pending. And who filed for that?
I did. Me.
Okay.
I did.
Judges, the wheels are turning, Judge. I hear them.
And you're scheduled for a court date on that in July. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. All right. I think that's all the questions that I have at the moment. Mr. French, we've told you like 4 times today, you're not supposed to be driving.
Oh,
Well, he just drove through the whole court case. So
All right. Do you have questions for the, and
you're
still,
still driving. He's
do
parking,
you have
Your Honor.
questions for this witness?
Nope, no
I
questions.
think you said no questions, but I'm trying to read lips. You have a prompt to unmute. You'll have to hit that before I can hear you. Do you see something on the
100%.
screen?
Can you hear
Always.
me? Yes, I see it.
Oh
There we go.
God.
Okay,
Yes, can you hear me now better?
I
There we go,
There we
can.
go. There we go.
Okay.
So did you say no questions?
He's out front of her house.
I don't have
on
any
Wi-Fi.
questions. I want to comment about some of the stuff she said.
So if you want to testify,
because
I'll
we
be
have not
asking you
had
to
any
raise your
physical-
right hand and swear you in, and then you can testify. Is that what you would like to
Okay.
do? Yes, it is. You're a step ahead
Yes,
of me. You
please.
swear any statements you make to the court will be the truth under penalty of perjury.
Yes.
All
Mr.
right,
French
you
is
can
a
put
hard
your
working
hand down.
man.
What
He's
would you
got
like to
things to
tell us?
do.
The time I went to her house to drop the kids off, I had the kids with me just to drop them off. I've never tried to enter a home or try to break into a home. And then one time I put the computer inside the door was when I saw her driving away from her home. When I told her I have the computer, and she said, okay. And then I went and then I opened the door and I pushed the computer inside her home and closed the door back. I didn't go inside her home or anything like that. But we have custody that we're going back and forth. We've always had 50-50 custody since the kids are 15 and 13, and it's been going smoothly. So she wants to go back to court to try to get more custody with my daughter and son. So we'll just wait to go back to court for that. And that's basically all I have to say. I don't have a lot more to say because
Because there's
I've known
nothing
her since she
to
was
say.
14, I was 16, and we've never had any physical or any kind of violence. We were together for 20 years. So I don't have anything against her. It's just I don't understand where this court case came from.
He was 16,
But,
she was 14.
I'm just waiting to go to court in July.
Wow.
We did hear that right.
Yeah, they were together for 20 years.
Damn.
And then it went sour.
Ouch.
That's tough.
K-Cat, thank you. KC Cat, I should say. Two bones.
KC Cat.
Thank you.
Again, I just don't see it. I don't see. I mean, he's got nothing to say because nothing's happened.
Yeah. I genuinely believe that he's surprised that this. What do you think? One of her friends is just like, oh, just try to get a protection order on him.
I'm gonna steal the phrase that our good friend, the Red Rifle yesterday kept saying. He is having to fight off her because she is weaponizing the court system with the TPO.
So,
and she's just trying to get her way. I mean, I could be 100% wrong, but from everything I've seen,
yeah,
that's where I'm leaning. I just don't like. I mean, we see it, we hear about it all the time. I think this is a clear-cut case of it.
Absolutely.
And she don't like that girlfriend.
The incident where she was describing you trying to make entry into the home when nobody was there.
Never.
I'm sorry.
I never tried to make any entry to. I'm sorry. I never tried to make any entry to her home when no one was there. I never broke into her home ever. And I never tried to make entry to her home when no one was there. I never tried to make entry to her home when she was there. I've never gone to her house to try to intimidate her in any way.
Like a Deb.
He's got notes.
And I've never had any issues with her in terms of trying to get into her home or trying to mess with her home, whether she's there or not there. I haven't had any problems with her in terms of the kids. Trying to get into her home when she's there, when she's not there, anything like that. I haven't had any problems with her.
Okay, and so
So I don't know what she came up with this stuff. What you say?
Okay, so in regards to the incident where you were trying to bring the children to the house, she testified that she's told you not to come to the house. Is that right?
Well, when she called me and she said, "Hey, where you going?" I said, "I'm taking the kids to your house." She said, "Well, no, take them back to your sister's house." And I said, "I will bring them to you. You want me to? I can bring them to you wherever you are. I can bring them to you." And she said, "No, just take them back to your sister's house." Right? And then I took them to her house to drop them off, but since the door was closed, then I turned around and I brought them back to my sister's house. And the reason I did that is because I keep asking her to stop picking the kids up from school when it's my turn to pick the kids up. And she'll pick the kids up
Deborah?
Now we're getting somewhere. Deborah, thanks for checking in. Can everyone please check in like Deborah just did? There's 300 of you here. We'd appreciate that.
Pick the kids up, and then sometimes I can't even find where they are. You know what I'm saying? She'll pick the kids up early before school even ends, and I don't know where the kids are. And I've already gone up to school and things like that. So when I did that, just that week before, is when I told her I'm in the line waiting to pick the kids up, but she's in front of me. And I said, don't pick Brian up. Don't pick Brian up. I'm in the line. And she's like, no, I'm gonna pick him up. I'm gonna pick him up. I want to pick Brian and Lauren up together. And I said, don't pick him up. And then Lauren wasn't even there. So she just picked up Brian and took him home when I asked her not to. So I had to get out of the line and follow her to her house. So that's what happened with
Just
that.
more of her being petty. Just more.
Yeah.
Just
Again,
Ms. French, do you have questions? that you believe
Micromanaging.
I need to ask this
Yeah.
witness.
No, I don't
Yeah.
have any questions. So.
Oh, I'm sure she's got
And
lots of
I'm
them.
asking
Here we
her. This
here
is
we go.
Her chance for questions if she thinks
Oh,
there are
sorry.
questions.
Oh,
I
sorry.
have a feeling this is where the true colors are going to come out right here and right now. I have a feeling. I could be wrong.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay.
On the
Ms.
same
French.
question, on that day, on that Wednesday that he described, the day that I guess prompted all of these different arguments and him being upset, there was I did pick up my son from school. I was there to pick up my son and my daughter. I explained to Mr. French that there's been, the kids at school are making fun of my son on the line, and when you leave
What?
with the two different children, it's awkward. Mr. French had to come to my home anyway. To his time, it didn't change anything.
What?
So I said, I'm
They're making
awkward.
fun of her son because he's picking him up. What?
It's awkward to leave with both of the kids together.
here, I'm ahead of you. I'll just pick them both up. I'll meet you at the house. That's very normal. It's nothing different. Has some social issues at school, and I didn't want to make them worse. This is making it worse, the situation we currently have. So I picked them up. I proceeded to go home. And then I saw Mr. French still on the line, and he did not go back. He didn't turn around. He stayed in the line. And I didn't know he was going to do that.
She hates technology,
He was
Billy.
in the back of the line. He had plenty of opportunity to turn around. But I didn't know he was there, like right there. So I know he said he was there, but I just told him meet me at the house. So I went to the home. I saw him in the line, and I met him at my home, and he was obviously upset. The idea that me picking the kids up when it's his time to pick up the kids.
This is where
is
she's supposed to be
something that-
asking a question, not giving testimony.
And she's focusing on the last thing that he said, that whole thing, which I don't really think has anything to do with the case necessarily. I mean, again, zero evidence of what you really need to put it. And where's the intimidation? I mean, if there was no physical violence, none of that, it was just, as she said, just intimidation. Where is
She
that?
can't give us a text message, a phone call. She can't give us anything. Some of this ring video, maybe anything. It shows this intimidation. We're just not seeing. There's nothing there.
Mark it on the calendar. Let's make it happen.
Has
All
not
right.
been in place the whole time that we've had the agreement. And him, his days, he's very adamant about his days all the time. I pick up I picked the kids up the next day, Thursday. It's
And
his
you
day.
mock
I
it.
picked up the kids
Let's see, boy.
from school. I picked up my son and drove him to his house. The next day, on his days is something that I've done. Last year, I did it almost exclusively, even though like 80% of the time I picked up the kids from
Okay,
school,
you're the mom.
even though it was his days. So me picking up the kids from school on his day is something that I did not think it would be something that would infuriate him the way it did. But I see that it made him mad that day, and we had the subsequent days, and then it all led up to what happened on Saturday.
but nothing happened.
I know. Like there's an event Saturday that she didn't mention it. One law, two bows. Thank you.
Is that it?
Mr. French busted
hear
out the
me?
windows and went crazy.
Now
We didn't
I'm
do
on mute.
anything. Hallelujah.
Here's the
Brother-in-law.
challenge as it relates to this case. Georgia law is very specific about what can serve as predicate offenses for cases of family violence, for protective orders like this. And I want to draw this distinction because I think it's important. In a family court setting, like your custody case that you have coming up very soon, the judge has very wide latitude because what the judge is
It does look
tasked
good
with
today.
doing in those hearings is to act in the best interest of the children. In a hearing like this, the crux of what a protective order asks the judge to do is to restrict the freedom of someone else or restrict the actions or the movements of someone else.
You know he did.
And in doing that, the standard that they are given, the standard we are given as judges, is that we have to find that the other person has committed acts of family violence as those acts are defined by Georgia law. And the behavior that you're describing for Mr. French is troubling because the patterns that he displays, I think you're right to identify with concern. It should absolutely be setting off, your alarm bell or raising a flag, whatever you want to call it.
For what?
Because it is the type of it's a type of boundary pushing. It's a type of almost determination of doing things.
But it's the same on the other hand. He asked
even
her.
though I can look at his
Hold
actions.
on. He asked her, "Hey, I'm in the line to pick up our son. Why are you in the line?" And then she just completely ignored his request that he was picking up his son when he's supposed to be picking up the son. But that's not a warning. That's not habitual line stepping, as Charlie Murphy would say. I mean,
that was so strange. Like he starts out like that, and then he just jumped to.
Are we about to get shocked again?
Like
I hope not.
A pattern of behavior that is concerning.
Like it's escalating. It's going to escalate into something. He's going to stop listening to you at all, ma'am.
I say this a lot. I don't mean to be a broken record, but again, I hope that there are a lot of notes towards this case or things that we are not privy to that we just heard.
Not in this courtroom. They don't look at nothing or hear nothing other than the report that was placed for the TPO. Other courtrooms like Thurston and stuff like that, they get all the evidence ahead of time. They look at it all ahead of time. Unless something is presented in this courtroom here in Georgia,
right?
It's not in any way considered in the case. So there's nothing more than face value on this one.
And Amy brings up a very good point. Again, she mentioned that it's not right for both of them to be picked up together.
And the daughter wasn't even there. She wasn't even at school.
He is pushing those boundaries in a way that I think is very common in this court.
What about seriously? Was there? Maybe we missed something.
I don't think we did. If we did, please let us know in the comments. You have no other problems telling us things we did wrong. So if that's the case, please let us know. I just don't.
He's going to the home for the kids, though, picking up the kids, dropping off computer. He has a reason to be there. And keep in mind, it's not. She said that he.
I get that last part. Purple Jam. Purple Jam is right. She said, "Don't come around here no more." But I haven't seen him do it again since she said that.
I could be wrong, though. First of all, I thought she only said that this was one incident of him attempting to go in the house or thinking about going in the house, not on the property.
He didn't go in the house, though.
But in the house. And she said because he had done it one time before is what I thought that she said. And I thought that we were talking about more specifically him going inside the house when she's not there, not on the property because he's dropping the kids off. He's picking
up the kids. Yeah. I mean, at some point you got to co-parent, you got to allow these kinds of things to go on, especially if there's nothing really going on that crazy inside this case. I mean, I'll be the first one. If there was anything I felt like was intimidation, other than like, oh my God, maybe in his head, he's like, why is she doing this? I'm just trying to spend time with my kids. I'm trying to do things with my kids. I'm trying to return this, return that. But I do understand if she says, hey, don't come around here no more, then he can't come around.
In terms of the types of behavior we see from respondents, I also don't really know that I can take the testimony that I've heard today and say that he's committed acts of family violence sufficient to issue a protective order.
There you go.
And
There you go.
It's
We
a
jumped the gun a
tough
little.
spot, and I do sympathize with you because I can look at the subtext of what's going on and those elements of power and control. You can see those undercurrents in the decisions that are being made. Now, what I will say is,
I'm sorry, but I forgot to mention that the part with the children, that was not something that I did not know that was part of what was going on. Judge Kemp actually was the one that brought that up. I actually was just filing because for me personally and my personal safety, the children, Judge Kemp was the one that suggested the custody. I did not even know that could be part of the process. And with that, I also asked him to kind of fiddle with the law a little bit. And he was kind of reluctant to do so, to make sure that Mr. French could still see his children. It wasn't a case of me just trying to get custody through this incident, because and I'm sure it's probably.
no, I get it.
as well.
This is
I did
about
not-
you and your home, not about them. But where this is heading is this. Both of these things can be true at the same time, because that's how this goes sometimes. You have been very clear about your boundaries with him here today in open court, and we've all been here to witness it. So he knows that he should not be going to the property without your express permission, because he doesn't live there. It's not his. Now, and it's something that you should incorporate into the custody.
Did she ever say that he just shows up whenever he wants, or
no? There was nothing like.
That's what we're talking
I
about.
came home and he was sitting in the driveway, and I heard none of that. And everything she's saying is it all stems from this one incident of him taking the kids home instead of taking them to her or whatever. Look, I'm a layman. I don't know it. I don't know the law, but I just don't. It just doesn't make any sense.
He's typically very, very fair.
He's very fair. Yes.
One of our faves for sure. We give him a lot of crap about being Judge Dude, but he's a good dude.
And visitation component, like when those things go through the court system this summer and you're dealing with those issues, you need to make sure that those pick up and drop off things, that the I's are dotted and T's are crossed, so that that's configured in a way that is comfortable and safe for you. And I don't just mean physically safe, but I mean that feels okay is the best way I can describe it. And so while I don't believe I can extend the protective order for 12 months, based on the evidence I've heard today, those boundaries that you've set, I think are quite clear, such that, if he were to come around, you would be within your rights to call the police or to ask or to file a warrant application or to potentially refile this protective order. I say refile, to file a new protective order alleging the issues you've talked about today, and also adding to them any issues that have arisen since, because that's how this works. The reality of this courtroom is that we have never once said no to a person. What we say to them is not yet. And God forbid, but oftentimes there is more to add or more to say in the future. And if there is, then we want to hear that when it happens. And so, Ms. French, I thank you for your time today, and Mr. French as well. We're going to place the parties back in the waiting room.
Judge, sorry, because I want to make sure this is part of the case and on the recording. I want to make sure that I state that I did not want Mr. French to not come to my property.
Wow.
Because we go back and forth with the children, and I don't want to make it I don't want to make it inconvenient for our kids. I go to his property, he can come to my property. I just don't want him, I want him to stay a certain feet away from entering my home.
It's the literal physical home. The structure is
Right,
your concern.
park in
Understood.
front. Yeah, I wanted to make that very, very clear, because everyone's, I guess it gets lost in the verbiage that I don't want him at my property. He can come to my property. He can come and see his children at my property. I just don't want him to feel, I just don't want him to walk up to my property and feel like he can just do that whenever he wants. That's what I don't want.
Physical structure, the building, the actual residence, not the land.
I
or the
want him to
surrounding
pretend he's a
area if he's picking up or
vampire.
dropping off or visiting, but understood, and thank you for that clarification. So we're going to place both parties back in the waiting room.
I was clear about that
It will
earlier.
probably
I thought
take
she was saying all
48 to
along.
72 hours for the paperwork to be processed.
Then
That
to do that
closes
at the
out
end.
order on the case
Yeah.
and moves it from the
Doubling down,
registry.
baby.
So be aware of that delay, but understand that it will be done this week. And I wish you both luck. Make sure you stay on top of any other court dates you have coming up in Superior Court. It looks like July 24th may be the next one, but that could potentially be subject to change. So good luck to you both, and thank you for your time.
Again, like I said, she wants him. I want to pretend he's Nosferatu and he cannot cross the threshold of my home without being invited first.
It's almost like at the end there, she had an epiphany. And
the epiphany was
look.
I didn't get the TPO, so I better make sure he comes get these kids, and I gotta drive them all the way to his house.
And you are 100% right. It's very inconvenient with the kids. Oh, let me show you what I just got. Oh, that's right. You can't come into the house. That's a thing.
Yeah, I mean, co-parenting. It's I don't know. It just came off really petty. I mean, it really did. Just so super petty that she didn't want him to. And I didn't hear like he went into her house, rifled through her undie drawer. He didn't go in there and drop an upper decker toilet. He didn't do anything other than open the door.
She said one time about the about the packages. That was one time. Said something like that.
Were we trying to set him up as a package thief at one point, maybe?
Yes, she said it one time about the packages being, and nothing was said the rest of the time. Rag a monkey with a new picture.
I know. Look at that. That better be
God.
part of a sign that says running for city council or something.
No kidding. No more shirtless Ragu.
No. Strictly business professional.
I like that. I like
it a lot. Again, wow.
Take me down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was a moment there at the end. I guess we jumped the gun. Should have just shut up and just let it roll. But I was thinking we were really turning because it was like, all right, let's set it up. Right. That's what he did. And then he like brought it, but he whipped it. That was.
Maybe he was just trying to break it to her gently. He was giving her the L, but he was giving her kind of a pep talk, maybe about, look, the L is just an L. But I'm not telling you it's an L forever. It's just an L until next time.
Well, thank you guys. We'll be back Thirsty Thursday. We got a chase at 405 East.
That's right. Everybody's going to be slightly under the influence of something.
That is a guarantee.
That's a promise.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. That was a fun day in court. We'll never know if that dude in the first one ever got a ticket or not.
I guarantee he did. Judge wasn't going to let him off completely. He done pissed him off.
That's true. Case-Head Express today. Lady Poe, Twisted Sifter. I done worse. Georgia Peach, Flusha, Donna, Casey, Cat, Deb, Just Deb, Deborah, Billy, Wedlaw, Kiernoff, Flusha, and Cole.
Oh, Cole, baby.
Cole's coming to the meet and greet, Mikey.
Cole, if you're on Discord, send me a DM and I'll send
Or
you
smoke
all
signals.
the details you need. Absolutely.
Thank you guys. Couldn't do it without you guys in the chat, and of course our constables, which are mods around here. Appreciate all of you. Great crowd today. Like
Yeah.
it's 350 people, which is
We're
awesome.
the little channel that could.
That's right.
If you're over here on We Got a Case, you'll see that there is a premiere tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern time of a at one point we were doing cases that were only over on Credence and Mikey. So slowly the tapes crew is moving that stuff over so you guys can see all of our back page history. Is that what I wanted to say? Back page? Ain't that where you pick up prostitutes? Anyways, some of our cases before We Got a Case was a channel. We want you guys to be able to enjoy all of that. So make sure you're back for that. It's a lot of fun. It's a case between a rapper and an Instagram star, Creed. I bet you remember that one.
Also, I want to say, sorry, she's barking like there's somebody standing at the.
Look, your wife was in an accident, man. You can't talk about her like that. She's gonna do crazy shit from time. She hit her head real hard. That airbag hit her pretty tight.
I have asked her a couple of times, but she said something a little goofy. I said, "You sure you didn't knock your head a little harder than you thought?"
Oh my god.
She kind of looks at me and chuckles. I will not be here for court tomorrow, I think. Just FYI, it is racing weekend, Coke 600 weekend in Charlotte. So, but I will see you from live from the track for some stuff. And I got to jam pack basically a whole weekend into tomorrow because it's like an 80% chance Saturday and same on Sunday. So, Mikey, I haven't even told you, might be racing on Mondays.
Oh, baby!
Monday or Tuesday. Monday even kind of looks crappy, but looks like a lot of racing might get rained out. But tomorrow it's going to be perfect. We got a couple of races, a truck race and ARCA tomorrow. So at least I'll join you for the chase live from there. That went all right last time.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Then we did a little walking around for a minute and showed you the area there, the fun stuff. Oh, and then the cool thing at the end of the day, free concert last year was what's his name from Poison, Bret Michaels. This year, for tomorrow, is an AC/DC tribute band. Which I think would be pretty cool to see. So.
Tribute band. Could have got the real thing, cheap bastards. I can't believe that. They could have got AC/DC.
Yeah, right.
They could have got real AC/DC.
You cheap money grubbing bastards.
Kieran, it's funny you said that. There's a dirt track guy that I followed that on his back trunk. It's only like $50 for the season. Get your name on there, the little YouTube button next to it.
Why haven't we done that already?
I know. I think it'd be pretty cool, and they're very active on YouTube, which I thought was neat. You know,
our PR department really dropping the ball this year.
Well, we didn't hire anybody for PR. It's part of the budget constraints of such a small channel, but you know.
There's no way for the PR channel or money for the sticker. Yes. We love you guys. We'll see you back here real soon. Till then, top guys out.
I think it'd be a good idea.
Yeah. I don't know. We hate